Now this one, this is an absolute must-have. First of all, hello, and to anyone who's new, hello to you as well, plus all my regulars. This, I've got 7 really, really, really good bags that you have to buy now. I mean, if you're thinking about adding to your collection, or if you want to start your collection and you're sick of these price rises, I have got some items here, and they're not all cheap, okay? I'm not going to come to you and be like, oh, all of these are really inexpensive. Some of them are expensive, but they're less expensive than you can go. So the first is and I've spoken about this before, but the first most key bag, particularly if you want something from Chanel, is the mini square. And I know you can't get these in the black, you can't get them. So if you're lucky, you will be able to get it, but here's the reason why. Look at that price. If you consider the cheapest Chanel Classic flap in the small size is over £7,500, and yet you get something which fits the same amount of stuff as the small size, no joke, fits the same amount of stuff, and it's half the price. I would expect the mini to be nearer to £5,000 or even £6,000 ratio wise in between the small, the medium and the jumbo size flap, but it's not. And so if you can get it, if you want to get into Chanel, if you want your one and only bag, and if you don't carry around loads anyway, I really think the mini is worth it. And if you are asking the question right now of how can I get one, that's the most difficult thing. I can only speak from the advice that you guys have given to me, because a lot of you have written to me and told me. I personally, it took 18 months for me to get one, and I was on a waiting list. I don't think they do waiting lists anymore, one of you told me. One of you said you walked into a store and just got lucky. I would try and get someone's details at the store, a sales associate, and just keep in touch. Alma BB. I have a lot of you saying, do I still think that this bag is priced at a point where it's reasonable? Like, for example, if I didn't own that bag, would I still buy it now? Yes, I would, because it's around £1,200. I bought that bag, so glad that I bought the bags I've got back in the day. Do you know that? Because the prices now have just, they're stupid. Back then they were high, but they weren't stupid. I paid £650 or £680 for mine, but I would still get it. I don't love the canvas on Louis Vuitton, because particularly on things like the Neverfull and the Speedy, because it's all not got much structure to it, and when you use the bag it all kind of goes in on itself. But on the Alma, that bag's very structured and you don't get any movement of the canvas. So yes, massively, massively still worth it. And one that if you want to add to your collection, or if it's your only bag, if you're into LV, get the Alma BB. You can also fit a bottle of water across the bottom of it. Who knew? It's fantastic. For £975, you'd be crazy not to consider this bag. This is from Gucci, and it's the Gucci Soho Disco. I think it's in that order. This is a camera bag. It's classic. It's way, way long term, and it's under £1,000. That doesn't happen these days. And it's full leather, it's not even canvas. You know, very often for that kind of money you're looking at canvas or fabric, you're not looking at full leather, unless you go and look at brands like Coach, which I also love, but I'm looking at brands that are at the higher end of the spectrum in this. To be able to get a bag from that's brilliant. If I can find one, I will link to it below, just so you can go direct and grab it there if you're interested. But honestly, even if it's your only bag, I think that's another really good one that's it's practical as well. You can actually work with it, you can actually do something with it. It's neither too big nor too small, it's just perfect. One of my favourites, and I don't know why I haven't ever bought this bag. I was seriously tempted by it when it first came out, and it's the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. And when it came out, I love that kind of satchel shape. And I love the practicality of it, but I like the fact that bag isn't massive. I was really torn as to whether I would get it in the canvas or in the leather, but I never did it. And in a way, I should have done, because the price when it first came out, when did it come out? 2018 or something, possibly. The price was really good, but the price is still good. The price has gone up, but the price is still good. And of the canvas, I'm talking about, not of the leather. If you're thinking about a Louis Vuitton bag and maybe the Alma BB isn't for you because it's like top handle, it does have a crossbody strap on that bag, but maybe it's not for you. The Pochette Métis is definitely worth you having a look at. So that shape doesn't date, that style doesn't date. And also, as with the Alma BB, the canvas on it isn't like the thin, flimsy canvas that is on the Neverfull and the Speedy. Because this bag has got a bit of structure to it, the canvas doesn't kind of fall in on itself. Like with the Neverfull and the Speedy, there's nothing reinforcing that canvas because they're both quite like flimsy bags in a way, whereas you go for the Alma BB or the Pochette Métis and you don't have that problem. Just such a great bag to consider. And the final one, and it's one that I've been talking about on and off quite a lot over the last couple of years, is the Givenchy Antigona. This bag is now 11 years old. It came out in 2011. And I remember when it first came out and I wanted it so badly. For me, I find that the best size to get is the mini. And when I say mini, I'm not talking like this big. It's, well, as you can see here, it's about this big. It's a decent size. You can fit so much in it. Like, forget it, water goes in there, but so does so much else fit in. It's a really roomy size bag, and you can get a bag organizer for it if that kind of large open section isn't for you. You can get them in different sizes. I would personally recommend the mini because the price on it is really good, but also I feel like as soon as you start getting the larger ones, it can start to feel a little bit like luggage. And whereas with that mini size one, it just looks cute, it just looks chunky, you can do loads with it, you can fit your stuff in it, but also you could wear that on an evening out. I would. If I had an evening out and I wanted to carry a bit more stuff around with me, I'd take this kind of thing. I think it's really, really versatile. And also, with Givenchy, never buy that brand full price because you don't have to. That brand is on and off always included in third-party website coupon codes, always. And it doesn't just work on some of the seasonal ready-to-wear, it works on everything, even the classic bags. And actually that coupon code that I shared with you earlier, that also works right now on Givenchy, and it will work on that bag. In fact, thinking about it, they are the cheapest bags you should own now. And when I say cheap, it is tongue-in-cheek, you know, when I say that, because they're by no means are they all cheap, but they're cheap per brand. You know, that £3,500 mini Chanel bag, it's cheap for Chanel. It really is, as cheap as Chanel goes, so that's really what I mean here. But I hope this has given you some ideas. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.